welcome back to Tech Headlines Today. It's episode number 18 today on the podcast. Please subscribe or follow if you haven't already, and don't worry, it's free. Now, let's get into it. iPhone 14, all you need to know about the 2022 flagship. Apple may be working on the new iPhone 14 behind closed doors, but some early leaks have given us some ideas. If Apple 2022's iPhone is everything that's been rumored, we can expect a redesign, removal of the Face ID notch, and a far better camera setup. Apple has not released the iPhone 14 yet, but with the exception of 2020, most iPhone releases happen in September, so we're expecting the next-gen iPhone 14 in September of this year. Ming-Chi Kuo suggests Apple will discontinue the iPhone mini line this year. They will instead offer a 6.1 and 6.7-inch iPhone 14 Max alongside the new iPhone 14 Pro Max. Apple leaker John Prosser has revealed several renders of the iPhone 14 range, including the iPhone 14 Pro Max. In Prosser's renderings, the iPhone 14 range could ditch the camera bump and offer a full-flush trio of cameras on the rear. Twitter leaker MariQHD disagrees with Prosser's claim that the iPhone 14 will feature a flush camera module, and claims that the camera isn't flush in any current prototypes. While many might have hoped that the 120Hz display of the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max would be made available to the rest of the line, a report suggests otherwise. The Elec suggests that the 120Hz OLED will be exclusive to the Pro models, but Jeff Pu suggests that the entire iPhone 14 line will feature this high refresh rate. Apple's A15 Bionic is a 5nm process, but it will be replaced by a 4nm process with the iPhone 14, which is set to offer more noticeable improvements to performance and efficiency. A report from The Information claims that Apple's iPhone 14 Pro range is preparing to ship even smaller 3nm chipsets and boosted 8GB of RAM. Skype can now make emergency calls in the US. Skype has updated to allow emergency calls in the US and is now available for Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS, iPadOS, and the web. In order to share the user's location with 911, the user must first grant Skype access to their location data. In Skype, select your profile picture, select Settings, select Privacy to turn on 911 emergency location sharing. There are some limitations. If you are operating from a device that does not have an API for location sharing, or in a location where location sharing is unavailable, your location will not be shared automatically with the emergency services operator, Microsoft states. Skype 8.80 offers some other changes, including custom reactions for mobile, the ability to zoom in on the share screen, and a bump in the maximum length of a voice message from 2 minutes to 5 minutes. Bettercom loses more senior execs as employees brace for another mass layoff. 4 more executives have resigned from Bettercom after the company has laid off 900 employees and is preparing for more layoffs. The latest events at the company involve the resignations of 4 more top executives, including Clayton Carroll, the company's VP of Finance, Christian Wallace, head of real estate, Paul Tiger, General Manager of Purchase, and Stephen Rosen, Head of Sales. Wallace started at Better in March of 2020 and worked his way up to the Head of Sales in March of 2021. Tiger and Rosen had joined the company in 2019 and 2016 respectively. The company is preparing for a massive layoff that may affect as much as 40 to 50% of its staff. OpenSea investigates high-profile NFT thefts. A phishing attack is believed to be the culprit in the theft of several high-profile non-fungible tokens valued at roughly $3 million. OpenSea CEO Devin Finzer has shared multiple updates about the company's investigation on Twitter. The most recent tweets show that the NFT marketplace believes it has ruled out its website, a recent email, a listing migration tool, and its new smart contract as the attack vector. The attacker has 1.7 million of Ethereum from selling stolen NFTs, Finzer said, and the hacker's public name is FakeFishing5169. Finzer says NFT collectors worried about their tokens being stolen can revoke OpenSea's access to their collection via Etherscan. OpenSea has also updated its website with the warning, "Do not click links outside of OpenSea.io," while it investigates the cause of this attack. Owl-inspired technology may be key to reducing noise pollution. Swooping down on their unsuspecting prey, owls can achieve near-silent flight thanks to specialized feathers with a serrated edge. Positioned on the leading edge of the wing, these serrations are comb-like structures that influence airflow by disrupting high-frequency, turbulent swirling eddies of air, making them smaller and quieter. In owls, these serrations are more developed in nocturnal species as opposed to diurnal species. A study published in Physics of Fluids reveals owls' wings may help reduce trailing edge noise in turbine engines. Nocturnal owls produce about 18 decibels less noise than other birds at similar flight speeds due to their unique wing configuration. An airfoil's noise is generated when the layer of air lying over the upper and lower surface is thicker towards the trailing edge. Researchers conducted studies with noise calculation and analysis software to reduce noise generated by rotating machinery using airfoil design inspired by the serrated edges found on nocturnal owl wings. The noise reduction technology of rotating turbomachinery is still at a bottleneck. New, non-smooth trailing edge structures need to be proposed and developed to further tap the potential of bionic noise reduction. QAnon Founder may have been identified thanks to machine learning. Using machine learning software, computer scientists may have identified the founder of the QAnon movement as Paul Ferber, a South African software developer. They say Arizona congressional candidate Ron Watkins also wrote under the pseudonym, first by collaborating with Ferber and then later taking over the account when it eventually moved to post on his father's 8chan message board. A Swiss team made up of 2 researchers from startup Orf Analytics trained an AI to analyze the writing of the Q account. Machine learning software has previously been used to identify J.K. Rowling as the authors of Harry Potter and Cuckoo's Calling. Professor Patrick Juola, who identified Rowling as the author of Cuckoo's Calling, told The Times he found the findings credible. Both Ferber and Watkins claim they didn't write any of Q's messages, but linguistic experts told The Times that claim was implausible. What happens next is unclear, but the researchers hope that unmasking Q will loosen QAnon's hold on people and that it will loosen the conspiracy theory about the deep state. iPad Air, Apple's best all-around tablet, is about to get better. The iPad Air 4 still feels like it's the best all-around tablet in the Apple fleet, but it's also the oldest model in its current range. Apple is expected to introduce a new iPhone SE, new Macs, an iPad Air 5, and possibly a new iPad model update at its spring event. The A14X powered iPad Air is a fantastic tablet, with the biggest drawback being less memory than the lower-end iPad Pros. The iPad Air 4 remains a great tablet, but the performance gap between the Air and the Pro has increased, so the iPad Air will be improved to fill it. Apple will improve the processor, memory, and display of the next iPad, and make sure the FaceTime camera is better. It will probably get the A15 Bionic chip, offer new colors, and offer 5G support. Given the global processor shortage and the growing cost of doing business, a new iPad Air may cost upwards of $629 as a starting price. The iPad Air 5 is a good tablet for anyone who needs a tablet for occasional travel or sales trips, but doesn't need to use it every day. Apple is expected to announce the new models at its spring launch event in March or early April. Devices will ship a week or 2 later. Waiting for your new Volkswagen? It may be on fire in the Atlantic Ocean. If the chip shortage wasn't bad enough for the auto industry, there's another small-scale disaster in the Atlantic Ocean that's adding another dent in automakers' ability to deliver. The Felicity Ace cargo ship caught fire at sea on Wednesday while en route from Germany to Rhode Island. Since then, it has been evacuated with the ship's 22 crew members reported safe and healthy by the Portuguese Navy. But several automakers may be taking a hit as the Felicity Ace is now adrift with no crew while still carrying thousands of vehicles, Bloomberg reports. Among the ship's cargo are 3,965 vehicles from the Volkswagen Group, which include Audi, Bentley, Lamborghini, Porsche, and VW vehicles. A good deal are luxury models with 1,100 Porsches confirmed on board. The ship also contains 189 Bentleys, a spokesperson for the company tells The Drive. While plans are forming to tow the ship, the BBC reports, it remains to be seen how much of the Felicity Ace's inventory has been damaged in the fire. As of Thursday night, a Porsche spokesperson said the condition of its 1,100 onboard vehicles was unknown, the New York Times reports. While this incident may not hold a candle to the scale of economic impacts that stemmed from the Suez Canal blockage a year ago, it's not helping a market that's already in a chokehold. LG announces the first 50 participants in its new LG Nova program. LG's Innovation Center, LG Nova Among Friends, today announced that it has selected the first 50 companies for its Mission for the Future Global Challenge competition. From 1,300 applicants, the company picked its first cohort to start building opportunities with the startups. Nova itself is a counterpoint to profit-focused corporate venture capital outfits, and is instead focusing on abilities to collaborate with the LG conglomerate across the board in a few key verticals: the metaverse, connected healthcare, smart homes, electric vehicles, and the wonderfully fuzzily named Tech for Good. The first official, quote, First 50 group represents innovations in industries that will have the most immediate impact on our society now and in the future, as LG describes it. These companies represent the top of the diverse pool of innovative ideas and companies who applied to our Mission for the Future challenge to address the challenges facing our community. In these companies, we see great potential opportunities to explore transformative changes that will take our commitment of innovating for a better life to the next phase, said LG Nova head Dr. Sokwu Ri, Senior Vice President for Innovation at LG Electronics. Our work with these companies will be guided by our role as a leading global innovator of next-generation products, technologies, and services as we help them accelerate their growth and deliver positive impact to the world. Check the show links for the full list of the companies. ISS supports Apple's shareholder proposal on forced labor. Proxy advisory firm Institutional Shareholder Services, ISS, urged Apple investors to vote for a resolution demanding greater transparency in the iPhone maker's efforts to protect workers in its supply chain from forced labor. Apple will hold its annual shareholder meeting on March the 4th. Apple and independent third parties audited the company's global suppliers in 2020 and found no evidence of forced labor, its latest proxy filing said. Apple also releases reports with information on the protection of its supply chain workers. The Chinese government's forced labor program in the Xinjiang region was identified by independent human rights investigators, which raises questions about Apple's supply chain protections. The big picture dream is that Apple puts in place a much more solid set of policies and procedures, eliminating forced labor from its supply chain and living by its code of conduct, which says it has zero tolerance for forced labor, said Vicky Wyatt, campaign director of Some of Us, a group supporting the shareholder proposal. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in December declined an effort by Apple to skip the shareholder proposal. That same month, American lawmakers passed a bill banning imports from China's Xinjiang region over forced labor concerns. Google acknowledges cold weather challenges for Nest Cam and Doorbell. Google has published a support article regarding how Nest Cam and Nest Doorbell batteries can't be charged in the cold. Google says that at temperatures below freezing, the lithium-ion battery in your Google Nest camera or doorbell won't be able to charge. At temperatures between -4 degrees Fahrenheit and 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the battery can still power your device, but it won't charge, Google says. It may also drain more quickly than usual. At temperatures close to -4 degrees Fahrenheit, your battery may have less than half the life that it has in warm weather. The minimum charging temperature is 32 degrees. Google says Nest Cam and Nest Doorbell battery-run systems can struggle in the cold because they aren't drawing power directly from the line. Google says that owners should bring their devices inside to charge when it's colder than 32 degrees outside. The devices will charge slowly at first, but will replenish their batteries faster as they approach room temperature. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Tech Headlines Today. Please share this episode and don't forget to subscribe or follow. It really helps us out. We'll see you tomorrow.